Obodo was a small village in the African savannah. It had about 200 people living in round mud houses with grass roofs. The houses were arranged in a circle around a big open space called the marketplace. This is where people met, traded goods, and held ceremonies. The villagers dressed in vibrant Kent cloth, adorned with intricate beadwork to begin their day. The air filled with the rhythmic beats of talking drums, their sounds mimicking the rise and fall of humans. As morning turns to afternoon, the harsh realities of Obodo's troubles become more visible. Women trek far beyond the village boundaries, their water jugs empty, searching for any source of moisture in the parched land. In the fields, farmers toil under the scorching sun, their faces etched with worry as they survey the withering yam plants. Near the village center, the healer's hut is crowded with concerned goat herders, their prized animals bleeding weakly from an unknown ailment. Children with hollow cheeks and listless eyes sat in the shade, too hungry to play their usual games. In hushed tones, villagers debate the cause of their misfortune. Some blame angry ancestors, while others fear a powerful curse has befallen them. Amidst this turmoil, there was one man who seemed oblivious to the village's woes. Baba Koku, the village drunk, with his tattered dashiki outfit hanging loosely on his thin frame and his eyes perpetually lost from palm wine. Baba Koku was a familiar sight stumbling through the village, muttering incomprehensibly. Baba Koku was an old man, about 60 years old. He was thin and weak-looking, with gray hair and a scruffy beard. His clothes were old and torn. He always carried a small gourd filled with palm wine, a strong alcoholic drink made from palm trees. Every day, Baba Koku would wander around the village, drinking his palm wine and talking to himself. Most people thought he was crazy and tried to avoid him. Children sometimes made fun of him, but their parents told them to be respectful of elders, even strange ones. Baba Koku hadn't always been this way. Years ago, he had been a respected hunter and a loving father. His wife and 2 young children had died in a terrible accident when their canoe capsized in the river during a storm. Overcome with grief, Baba Koku had turned to palm wine to numb his pain. Over time, he became dependent on it and slowly lost the respect of the village. What no one knew was that in his drunken state, Baba Koku could hear the voices of the ancestors. They spoke to him, telling him important things, but he couldn't remember or communicate these messages when he was sober. Little did the villagers know that Baba Koku knew the solution to their problem. In his drunken haze, the spirits of the ancestors spoke to him, revealing the cause of the village's troubles and the path to redemption. But Baba Koku's words were slurred, his tales dismissed as the ramblings of a madman. It was young Adwoa who first suspected there might be more to Baba Koku's babbling. Adwoa was a 12-year-old girl with bright, intelligent eyes that sparkled like the night sky and a quick smile that could light up a whole village. Her hair was always neatly braided, and she wore colorful beaded necklaces that she made herself. She was known in the village for being curious and always asking questions. Unlike other children, Adwoa wasn't afraid of Baba Koku. She often watched him with interest and wondered what he was mumbling about. One evening, young Adwoa was collecting firewood as the old man dozed under an umbrella tree. She overheard him speaking clearly in his sleep, mentioning a sacred grove and a golden calabash. Excited by her discovery, Adwoa sought out Kwesi, the village griot. Together, they planned to unravel the mystery of Baba Koku's secret knowledge. Kwesi was a middle-aged man, around 45 years old. He had a round face with kind eyes and a deep, melodious voice. As the village griot storyteller and keeper of history, Kwesi knew all the old tales and legends. He was respected for his wisdom and often called upon to settle disputes. Kwesi wore elaborate robes made of kente cloth and carried a staff decorated with cowrie shells. He had a special hut near the center of the village where he kept sacred objects and conducted rituals. Night had fallen. Kwesi and Adwoa approach Baba Koku, who sits alone by dying embers. Kwesi offers him a special brew, its surface shimmering with mystic potential. As Baba Koku drinks, a change comes over him. His eyes clear. His voice deepens. He said a hunter had stolen a golden calabash from Oshun, the river goddess. This had caused the village's problems. To fix things, they needed to find the hunter, get the calabash, clean the sacred grove, and return the calabash to Oshun. The next morning, Adwoa and Kwesi stood before Chief Kofi and the village elders. With sunlight streaming into the chief's compound, as they recount Baba Koku's prophecy. Chief Kofi was a tall, imposing man in his late 50s. He had a shaved head and a neatly trimmed beard. The chief wore rich, colorful robes and a special hat that showed his status. Around his neck, he wore a heavy gold necklace, a symbol of his authority. He was a fair and wise leader, but the village's troubles were weighing heavily on him. He spent long hours in meetings with the elders, trying to find solutions. At night, he would pace in his compound, worried about his people's future. The elders were a group of 5 men and 3 women, all over the age of 60. They met regularly with Chief Kofi to discuss village matters and make important decisions. During the crisis, they were divided on what to do. Some wanted to perform more rituals to appease the ancestors, while others thought they should seek help from neighboring villages. They were skeptical about this new prophecy from a drunk, but Chief Kofi decided to let them try, as the village needed help, so he gave his blessings for the quest. At dawn, Adwoa and 2 young warriors set out into the forest in search of the hunter. They entered the forest, which was greener, compared to the dying village they left behind. Their first challenge was crossing a deep ravine on a bridge made of living vines that kept trying to tangle their feet. Deeper in the forest, they met a group of mischievous forest spirits who tried to lead them astray with illusions and tricks, false paths and phantom sounds to confuse their senses. Breaking free, they encountered Anansi the spider, who posed a secret key to finding the hunter. They sought advice from Anansi, who reluctantly gave them a magic riddle to help them subdue the hunter. After 3 days of travel, they found the hunter's hideout, but he had been cursed by the power of the golden Calabash. He was now half man, half leopard, with sharp claws and spotted skin. He attacked the group, but Adwoa remembered Anansi's riddle. She solved it out loud, and the magic words made the hunter freeze in place. They took back the golden Calabash and returned to the village. Arriving just in time for the full moon, the whole village gathered at the sacred grove. The elders had prepared the honey and kola nuts for the cleansing ritual. The talking drums began to play, and the young girls of the village started to dance. Adwoa stepped into the river with the calabash held high. The water began to glow. Ocean, the river goddess, appeared. Ocean was beautiful, with skin that shimmered like sunlight on water, her voice like the gentle murmur of a stream. She blessed the village, promising rain, good harvests, and healthy animals. When the ceremony was over, everyone looked for Baba Koku to thank him, but he had disappeared. Some people said he had been Ocean's helper all along, forced to live as a drunk until the calabash was returned. Others said he still wandered the village, but now people listened carefully to the mumblings of strange people looking for hidden wisdom. From that day on, the village of Obodo prospered. The rains returned, the yams grew big and healthy, and the goats recovered from their illness. The people never forgot the lesson that wisdom can come from unexpected places, and they treated everyone, even the oddest among them, with kindness and respect.